welcome back to a current household. I'm so excited to be here. Okay, so I haven't done a current household in like forever, right? So I know, there's a lot to talk about and a lot of things are going down and it's going good. And oh my gosh, okay, so my current household is definitely falling into place the way that I was hoping it was going to. But anyways, so as you know, um, if you follow my Twitter, that you know Derek is now an old man, and he is definitely enjoying the elder years and just being able to relax. So I don't know if I ever talked about what I really like planned on doing when Derek became an elder, but my whole plan was like to be able to utilize the days or the vacation days that he had when he was working. What he did is he gathered all of his vacation days and he went ahead and saved up for them or saved up with them, and then he is using them for himself. Like when he's older, he takes his vacation days and he still gets paid, but he's not actually working, so it's kind of like a retirement, yet making a lot more than he would make if he was actually retired. So that was one thing that I was really, like I thought that was a really really great idea to utilize for him. And so he's just been really living in the lap of luxury and, taking care of things around the house before, God forbid, knock on wood, anything happens to him, because I seriously can't. I seriously can't. Like, I just can't even bear the thought of not having him around with me, and it freaks me out to the extreme. So, on that note, um, Cheryl, my darling Cheryl, oh, how I love her. She is still not an elder. She's getting very, very, very close, though. She's only got 11 more days. And then her beauty will become in the past, but she will still be flawless as an elder. I can just see it. Like, silver hair is going, she's totally gonna rock it. And with her body, like, she has got a rockin' bod for an older mom. Just saying. And, she has just been loving the time that she's been able to spend with Derek now that he's not such a busy, busy person and he's not having to go up into space all the time and do all those really crazy things that he was doing before. And, they've just been really happy to be able to spend a little bit extra time together that they weren't able to spend together before, because he was so busy with work and trying to get his promotions and get the job up and get the money. And now it's just like they can relax and like live happily ever after in their really nice house, and they've got pretty much everything that they could ask for. I mean, I'm sure there's other things that they would like to have or whatever, but I just know that like they're really happy together. And with the whole family like needing to find Daniel and on the hunt for him forever now, they're just starting to feel back to normal per se. And it's not been easy for them to get back to normal after like, if you think about it, they've pretty much lost their son. Like, they can't find him, they don't know where he is. And so it took a little bit of a toll on the family, and a lot of the family has kind of fallen apart from them trying to deal with the situation. And so for Cheryl and Derek to be able to rekindle the flames and keep their marriage strong throughout everything that's going on, I think that says something for the amount of love that they have for one another, even knowing, obviously Derek is very tense about the whole situation. He can't believe that his eldest son is just up and disappeared, and he honestly doesn't believe he's dead. Like, in his heart, he just can tell he's not, and he just doesn't know where he is or why he's not showing up. And it's really frustrating for him to feel like he can't help his son get back to where he needs to be. Like, he just doesn't understand, and it's very frustrating for him to even think about his son being out there, all alone, and who knows if he even remembers who he is? Like, who knows if he even knows where he needs to be? So Derek is just really frustrated with the whole situation. And so for him to be able to spend some time with Cheryl has definitely helped take off the tension of not knowing where his son is, and just, moving on with whatever he needs to do to try and help find his son. Like, they are on the hunt every day. They're out there looking for him. Right now they're spending a little time at home because it's a weekend, and they know that not only does Daniel need their attention, but so do the rest of their children, and they know this. And so they try to spend quality time with each and every one of their children. Obviously, the ones that live at home get a little bit extra attention, but that's what they've been spending their time doing. Dale has officially gotten himself a broken shower. No, he's officially a young adult now. He is still really, really into Kelly. He doesn't care that she's married, and he's told her that. He's told her that he will wait until the end of the earth for her because he feels that they are meant to be together. And if they're meant to be together, then that's what he's going to do. He'll wait. And Kelly's like, listen, you're sweet and all, and I appreciate everything that you're doing for me, but I really just am not feeling the same way for you. You're a really great guy, and if I wasn't married, if I wasn't happily married, I might actually consider getting with you. But right now, I'm just really happily married. And he can't get over her, but he has been going to the bars at nighttime and meeting girls and hooking up with them, whether, it gets him in a lot of trouble because they're married or not. He doesn't care to find out. He just is looking for some company, and if he can find it in any girl at a bar, he will. He is a very lost puppy right now, I feel. Like, he really wants the comfort from Kelly, but since he can't get it from her, and he knows that he can't, he will get it from anyone he can. And obviously that's not the right way to go about it. Like, he obviously shouldn't be acting like this, but he's acting out because he can't have the one true person that he actually really likes. And so that's kind of freaking him out. Dustin here is still working away as a child, just about done with his mental skill, which is awesome. He has one more skill in that, and he will have all 4 of his skills done. Then the only thing I really have to worry about is his aspiration, and this is like the death of me. I hate this aspiration. So he just needs to find himself a best friend forever, and we can go from there. But he is a very, smart child. He's kind of a nerd in a sense. He likes to do things that deal with science and bugs and things like that, like things that most everyone else is kind of not into. Dustin really is. He's like a super genius, and it's so crazy because he was literally at an A in school in like 2 days. It was crazy. But he's been kind of really trying to push for some... Ooh, there's a birthday party. He's been really trying to push for some love and attention from his father, from Derek. And the whole thing is like, he obviously is really, really wanting that attention because of the fact that, it's his dad, and he really, really feels like he needs that attention. But he also is like not able to get the attention for the fact that, like, Derek and Dale are very, very close right now, for the fact that Derek loves working out, and now that they have a gym at home, he can work out at home, and now he has someone to work out with. Because of the fact that Dale is in the athlete career, he's able to have him join him upstairs in the workout room. So they're up there all night, and it kind of leaves Dustin by himself. He kind of sticks in his room and just doesn't mean to do it. Derek is just so ecstatic to have a child interested in athletics like he is. And I think that after a while, Derek will realize that he's kind of favoriting that one child, but he is just enjoying the fact that his son is into something that he's into. So they've been spending a lot of time working out together. And I think that also is helping with the tension with everything as well. And then we have Damon, which you saw is a little toddler. Obviously, unfortunately, he couldn't come. But we're going to bring him here. There he is. There is Mr. Damon, and he is our little baby, and he's so freaking cute. The toddlers are adorable in this, and I just can't get over it. But so little Damon, he is quite the thing. I am definitely having a blast learning the toddler stuff and just being able to play with the toddlers and see them. Oh, I hear babies. But yeah, so it's just been so much fun getting to know the toddlers and how they work out. And so he is definitely a very smart child. He has his imagination all the way up, his movement is all the way up, his potty is all the way up. We're still working on communication a little bit more, and then we have to work on thinking quite a lot. But it is just so freaking cute. What is this? Talk to him? Aw. This is so cute. But they are just adorable. Like, legit adorable. And I just like... Oh, he really has to go to the bathroom. I don't think there's any potties in the house. So he's just so freaking cute. And, like, I can't get over how cute he really is. And he is just, like... He's got the clingy trait. Which is like talking about like he doesn't like to get too far away from the family, and Cheryl is loving it. She cannot get enough. She literally cannot get enough of her little boy. Like, it's her last baby. Think about it. It's her last baby, and he's a toddler. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. But so she's definitely enjoying the younger years of him, because the whole thing is we don't know how, she doesn't see her grandson. She doesn't raise her grandchildren. Oh my gosh. She doesn't raise her grandchildren like she does her son. And so she is definitely just enjoying the time with him because, she knows that this is her last. She knows that she's not going to be able to take or have these moments again. And so she's just enjoying them with Derek while he's still around and while her baby is still young. Like, that's what they spend their time doing, is raising Damon together. And I just think it's like the sweetest thing. I really do. And now his communication is max as well. So there we go. We just got to get that thinking up. Oh, we missed it. Jeez. What did he become? An elder? Oh, damn. Oh, it's the romance festival. Oh my gosh. Marcus is an elder. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and let her introduce herself to the people that she doesn't actually know quite yet, and just see how that's going. She knows Marcus, obviously, because he's the one who invited us. So we came to this party, and we brought our baby, and oh my gosh, Damon is so cute. I can't get over it. I really can't. I like this house quite a bit, actually. What is this? Dang, that thing's big. There's a lot of wasted space, though. Unfortunate. Okay. Anyways, so that's what they've been spending their time doing. Like, Cheryl just spends her time playing with her kids and working on all that good stuff. And spending time with them and just having a good old time. And, trying to raise Damon properly, making sure he gets to know all of the things that he needs to know in life. And, just she's definitely cherishing the moments knowing that this is her last baby, you know, and she's just loving the fact that he is her little baby, and she gets to spend the time with him that she wants to spend with him. And she's just thankful that Derek's job allows her to be at home with them, like with the kids when they're there, and she just finds it to be like a definite plus for the fact that they get to be all together at all times. What is this? I'm gonna have Derek come yell at this guy. He is like being really disrespectful to our kids. What the heck? Give him a rude introduction, Derek. But anyways, that is pretty much all that's been happening with these guys. They're just looking for Daniel and spending time trying to rekindle what they've kind of lost with losing their child. You know what I mean? And they're just really having a hard time dealing with the fact that Daniel is missing. And they don't have any idea right now where he could be. And they're really hoping somebody is going to find something very shortly. Because they're not sure that they can go much longer with not knowing. You know, and they want, like, their youngest to be able to know their oldest. And they know that, like, their grandchildren miss him dearly. What is she doing? Like, she knows that, that they've gotta miss him so much, and so they really want to be able to give them what they deserve. And it's very hard for them to be able to do that when they don't know where he is, and it scares them extremely. So pretty much that is what's been happening with this part of the family. I am going to show you the rest of the family in just a second. I wanted her to... Where did that go? Friendly... Have a deep conversation. Alright, so she's just kind of meeting the people at the party. Getting to know them. Did he go to the bathroom? No, he really... Oh, there he goes. He's going now. Okay. He's tired. Has to pee. Really has to pee. Alright. When he's done using the bathroom, I'm gonna change his diaper and head home. Poor child. Poor baby. Okay. Go ahead and... Let's see. Change his diaper. Please change his diaper. This is horrible. Ew, he just throws it over his shoulder. Alright, so that should make him much better. And he needs food. So, can we give him some food or no? Let's see. High chair is required. Crap. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to end the event because he's already aged up. And I am going to go ahead and let everyone head home. Like, he's going back to daycare, even knowing he's going back, like, we're going to be heading home anyways. Ooh, Cheryl has to go pee-pees. Once they all get home, then I'll switch to the next household and kind of show you what's been happening, which I don't know how you guys are going to react. Some of it, because some of it is pretty crazy. As you know, like, he's, Daniel's still missing, so obviously he's not in that household. Go home. So when I show you that household, he won't be in the household, unfortunately, but it's okay. We'll be found dead because, I mean, it's still a possibility. We have no idea where he is. There's only one person who knows where Daniel is, and that's Daniel. So, hopefully he ends up being found soon, because I think that the family could definitely use a little bit of high spirits. It's definitely taken a toll on Cheryl and Derek quite a bit, and I think it stresses them out, and especially with Derek, because he knows he's getting older, and no offense, but he knows that his time is coming. You know what I mean? And so he wants to make sure like all of his kids are okay and together when it happens. And he can't do that if he's can't find his eldest son. So I think that's kind of freaking him out quite a bit. But hopefully he'll be able to figure it out soon. And I don't know what's going to happen with Dale. I don't know if Dale's actually going to get with Kelly, or if things are going to be like crazy, gonna break up with, finally fall, like see that how much she actually cares for him. I don't know. To change her mind. Who knows if she can change his mind at all. Alright, well, I'm not going to jump. I'm going to jump into the other household that's in Windenburg, which is Dean and Callum. So we're going to go check on them and see what they're up to. And we're going to go to our Millman. So, in the whole limelight of, Dean and Callum, there has been a little bit of tension. Tension being that Dre really, he wants to be able to say that when he passes away later in life, and, he's been thinking about it for the fact that, he obviously is seeing his dad get close to those years. And so he's just kind of thinking about life. And he's at the point where he might want kids. But Callum, on the other hand, is definitely sure he doesn't want kids. And so it's putting a little bit of tension on them to try and figure out, what to do about it. And Dean is not 100% sure that that's something he wants. It's like, where does my legacy go? What's left of me? And so I think that's kind of something he's having a very hard time dealing with. Just the thought, because his dad obviously is getting older, and he knows that when his dad passes away, the house goes to the youngest, and they all know this, and they each will inherit a section of the money that's left over from his father. So he knows that they're gonna be getting something from mom and dad when dad passes away. And it's very hard for him to think about what happens when I pass away? Who gets my things? Who gets the things that I've worked really hard for my whole entire life? And so he's having a hard time thinking of who's going to be that person who gets all the items. Is it going to be my child? Is it going to be a sibling? That's what he's having a very, very hard time trying to figure out. And he's brought up the situation to Callum, listen, Callum, I think I might, want a child. Not per se a baby, but maybe just a child or a teenager. Maybe we could just adopt. And Callum is very not into having kids at all. He would rather it just be the two of them to the end. And, Dean knew when he got with Callum that this is how he felt. And so Callum has been listen, we talked about this when we first started dating. I let you know that I would probably never want kids. And for you to just pull this on me all of a sudden is very disrespectful. You're going against what we've already talked about in the past. And so they're kind of struggling with seeing eye to eye. Not per se that it's hurting their relationship, but it is putting a little bit of tension on them to be as happy as they once were, because one wants kids and one doesn't. And it's making it very hard for them to see eye to eye. And, you know, Callum is like, whatever happens if we adopt a child and then we decide we don't want them? What if we decide that's not something we want? And so Dean has definitely stepped back from telling Callum he wants children, and he's just thinking about it. He's just thinking, if I didn't have a child, who would I give my stuff to? Who means so much to me that I could leave all of my things to them? And who could my things live on through? Who could my what I've worked so hard for in my life, who could take it to the end? Who could make the most of it? And so he's been thinking of this, and it's kind of been better in the past couple of weeks. They haven't been bickering about the whole child situation, but it is something Dean's still leaving open. He's not cutting that out of his life. And he also does know that there's something odd going on between Casey and Callum, and he knows that he's got to figure out what's going on, because it's kind of like it makes him feel very weird when they're both in the same room. Like, Callum will be in the same room and Casey will be just so quiet. And Casey's not the quiet person. So it kind of freaks him out to just think what could have happened. And so he's trying to build up the nerve after bringing up the whole child situation. He's trying to bring up the nerve to tell Callum that he knows something's going on between them, but he doesn't know what it is, but he wants to know. And so he's kind of giving it a little bit of time, but at some point soon he is going to tell Callum that he needs to know what's going on. And I don't know how Dean is going to deal with the information that, Callum and Casey had a little bit of a fling, kind of. I mean, they never really slept together or anything, but they did get handsy, I guess you could say, lipsy. They did kiss in a bar, and it it got to the point where there was a little bit of like flirtations, and feelings were kind of involved. And so it made it very hard for it's going to be very hard for Dean to hear this, and I don't know how he's going to deal with it, or if he's going to fly off the handle and hate Casey and hate Callum. I don't know how that's going to work, but he does know something's going on. And will Callum actually tell him the truth? Will he tell him that there was a little bit of something between him and Casey? Will he actually be honest, or will he lie about it? Because I don't know. I don't know if Casey or if Callum can tell Dean about him and Casey and be truthfully honest about it. I don't know if that is something that Callum could live with. Could he live with the fact of possibly never speaking to Dean again for the fact that he did something so horrible and has kept it a secret for so long? And that's where it's going to become interesting to see if Dean can live with the fact that they were kind of romantic behind his back. And it's been about a year and a half now, and he's just catching on, and he probably feels like, why. I'm sure he's going to be upset, but will it be the end of Callum and Dean, or will Dean be understanding and you know, understand that things happen and mistakes were made, and that, we're trying to move past it now? I don't know. I don't know how Dean's going to deal with it, but he does know that there is definitely something odd going on between Callum and Kate and Casey, and he also knows that he feels like that's got a kind of a reason why Casey had asked Dean to move out. They had always talked when they were kids about living together until, the end of their lives. They're twins. And then just one day she up and wanted him out, and he was really confused. So that is something that is going to be he's going to be confronting Callum about, and we'll have to just wait and see how Callum treats it. Will he tell him the truth and it all be okay? Will he tell him the truth and it be a disaster? Will he lie and Dean find out the lie, and then it all goes from there? So it really depends on how Callum answers, and it depends on what Dean does, how he takes it, and we'll have to just wait and see. But he is building up the nerve to ask, and I'm kind of scared myself, to be honest, to see if Dean and Callum will be able to make it. I mean, Dean loves Callum, like head over heels is in love, and I don't think he would do anything to jeopardize it or potentially like hurt anyone's feelings, but it's really starting to irritate him that he doesn't know what's going on, and he just feels like if they're going to be honest with each other, then this is one thing that he's got to be honest. Then Callum needs to be honest about this as well and explain what's going on. So that is what's happening with Dean, and he is still in the culinary career. He's up to a level 6, and he's just working away at it quickly but quietly. He is on level 1 of his aspiration, but he just has to have a dinner party event, and I'm probably going to do that the next time that I'm playing this household. So that'll be interesting. But anyways, we're going to jump back up into Manage Worlds. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next household. The next household I think I'm going to show you will be... who do I want to show you next? We've been talking a lot about Casey. There's a lot going down with Casey. So happening. So Casey, unfortunately, Casey, yes I did. Where did I move her to? She lives in San Myshuno. That's where she lives. I couldn't remember where I moved her to. I was like, what the heck? Okay, so they moved into an apartment building. They were having some issues. So they had a little boy. And then it so happened that Casey got pregnant. And she got pregnant with another little boy. And they had their little boy. And everything came out about James's ex. She knows what happened. And so there was the tension of, will he leave me, you know, to protect himself? Will he end up being that father who's never around for his kids? And so she got really scared that that was something that was going to happen if they continued to live where they were living, just for the fact that a lot of people knew who they were. So when she heard about San Myshuno opening up these new apartment buildings and it pretty much being like a town built from scratch, she jumped on it. She knew that if she wanted to keep her family together, that she needed to get them out of where they were. And so it ended up being that they decided to move to San Myshuno, and they rented a really nice modern apartment here. And they moved here, and Casey found out she was pregnant. And she ended up having 2 babies, little twins, Jared and Courtney. And she was ecstatic. She had her little girl that she always wanted, and she couldn't get over how freaking awesome it was. And they were getting a new life, so she was okay with adding 2 little bundles of joy to her family. And so now she's got 4 little kids, 4 little bundles of joy, running around, just doing their thing. And she couldn't be happier. You know, Jackson is her eldest, and she loves him to death. She wouldn't trade him for the world. And then she's got her little Julian, who is the little guy who is very easy to anger, but is like the sweetest child when he's not. Like, all of her kids are hot-headed, and then she's got her little baby who kind of takes after her, which is Jared, and he's the little vegetarian. He doesn't eat any meat, and when he does, he definitely lets mom know that, like, Mom, what the heck is wrong with you? You made me eat that meat. And then we've got her baby girl Courtney, whom she adores. And it ends up working because the boys all sleep in one room and then the girl gets her own room, obviously. Um and her little girl is just like her. She does she reminds me so much of Casey with brown hair, pretty much. Like, Casey as a child wrapped in a bundle with brown hair is pretty much what we got here. So it's just so funny to kind of see how it all plays out. And the funny thing is, she's active, and guess who else is active? So she just, like, it's so crazy to think that, she has a little girl of her own. And I'm going to be honest, Cheryl was really happy when she saw her little granddaughter. You know what I mean? Like, she only has one daughter, and now she has a granddaughter by her one daughter, and she just was so happy to find out that her daughter was able to have the little girl that, Cheryl always wanted. She always wanted that little girl. She always was trying and trying and trying to have that one more child and it be a little girl, but it just never ended up in her favor. And so for her to be able to get the little girl that, for Casey to get the little girl that Cheryl always dreamed of having, made it so much better, for the fact that her little girl had the little girl that she always dreamed of having. And that was, like, the best thing for her. She couldn't get over how ecstatic it made her. And so Cheryl has definitely taken a liking to trying to be in Casey's life and the kids' life. But with the whole Daniel situation, it's definitely pulled her a little bit back from the family. And it makes it very hard for them to definitely try to be here as much as she was before. And she's kind of falling out of touch with Casey. And I think Cheryl will regret it later on when she notices what's kind of happening. But right now, she is so mindset on Daniel and finding him that she's kind of letting her relationship slip with the rest of them. And so, Casey is just happy that her family is safe for now. It could always pop up that somebody here knows them, but right now she doesn't need to worry about James's safety and being arrested for something that happened when he was a teenager, And if it ever comes up that they have to, Casey is willing to do anything to keep her family together, no matter what it is. So if she has to take extreme measures, she will. And she's willing and ready to do it. And she's hoping by living here and not having her own house, she can save money. She's hoping to save money for if they need to move, if they need new identities, anything. Like, she is willing to do anything to keep her family together. And I definitely think that right now they're pretty safe. But you never know what's lurking behind that corner, and she knows this, and she is very, very careful. And she lets the kids know that they need to be careful and to not talk to strangers. And so she always asks them, like, how their day went, you know what I mean? She's always trying to figure out what happened during their day. And honestly, she wishes that they had more money, but right now the whole move and selling all their stuff and then renting an apartment and moving to the city was a big expense, bigger than she ever thought it was going to be. And so it kind of took out on their money. And so now they're just right now working to build up their money. And they've kind of, honestly, probably they've cut some ties with the family for the fact that they can't be known as those people anymore. They can't be known as, the people who the one lady died because of. They can't be known as that. And so they're trying to kind of stay clear of the old towns that they don't need to be seen in because it's very dangerous for them. But Casey and James are just, they're so happy here. They're so happy in the city. They wouldn't change it for the world, and they love their apartment. And it's like the best. Like their kids love it here. Everyone gets along. There's plenty of space for them to move around. It's almost like having their own house pretty much. And so Casey's happy, and if she's happy, she doesn't think twice about it. She knows her family's happy and safe, and that's what gets her through her day, is making sure she's safe. And she knows that when she's talked to her mom about it, her mom told her that, her family is what comes first. Cheryl's on Casey's side. Cheryl would do anything to keep her baby safe, especially her one baby girl. And so Cheryl's got her back. If anything happens, Casey knows she can go to mom and dad. If she needs them to watch the kids for a little while or whatever, she knows Cheryl's there for her no matter what. And Casey knows this, and she knows that if it comes down to it, they would be very safe with Grandma and Grandpa. So that's kind of what's going on here. They're just kind of trying to lay low for a little while for the fact that people were starting to talk, and the investigation was getting very close to finding out who had murdered the lady. And obviously it wasn't, from what James says, it wasn't him, but Casey thinks that it's best if they just stay out of the limelight for right now. If they just stay away from the city that it all went down in, hopefully it'll just go away. I don't know if it will or not, but that's what Casey is honestly hoping for, is that, things will just be better. It'll just get better with time, and then they'll be able to move back and be closer to the family. And, she is trying to stay in touch about the whole Daniel thing, but I mean, she's got her own things going on, and it's making it very hard for her to stay in touch. So that's what's been going on with them, and their kids are all doing great. James is still in the entertainment career as a comedian, and Casey is still a stay-at-home mom. She has thought about possibly picking up a part-time job or something to help out a little bit, just for the fact that she's trying to save the money and stuff, just in case anything happens. And she thinks it would be a good idea if they had the little extra funds, which I don't disagree with her at all. I think it would be too. So that's pretty much what's going on with them. And then, they just got the twins and the little girl, and that's pretty much that. Oh my goodness, Julian just reached creativity level 10. Boy, work it. All right. Moving on to the next. I have how many more households? 2 more households? 3. Well, next one we're going to go to is Dre Nolan and their baby girl Star. Now, I did a life of them just recently. If you missed it, I am so sorry. But so you guys kind of know the story behind them, or at least I would think you do. So we're going to jump over to Dre. So Dre and Nolan Star, their little girl, and she has fallen so much into place. She makes them the happiest person on earth. They literally can't imagine their life without her, and she is their whole world. Like, they take her to the park every day. They each spend time watching TV with her, or playing games with her, or whatever she wants to do. Like, they do it. She comes home, she gets her homework done, and spend the rest of the night as a family together. And it is like the sweetest thing. So she's definitely fallen into place with the family, and that's great. It's awesome. And Dre is just very focused on work at the moment. He's focused on becoming, the best he can be, and getting enough money to give his daughter the life that he always wanted. Not so much like because he didn't have a great life, because let's be honest, he had an amazing life, but he's always wanted to be able to give his daughter things that he couldn't have because he had so many siblings. She's a single child, and so he wants to be able to give her like the attention and all that kind of stuff that he didn't get as much of because there were so many. And honestly, I think right now I don't think they're even considering another child. I think the one child is plenty for them. You know what I mean? Like they're not considering another child. I think Star might be their only child. That'll be it. And Star is loving the life of living with Dre and Nolan as her parents. Like she loves that she has two dads. She loves them both equally, and she knows that they're the best parents like to her that she could ever ask for. And she's so thankful that they chose her over all of the other kids that were in the adoption orphanage. You know what I mean? And she's just so thankful that she gets to have them in her life. And she is just a sweet child. She really is. She does what she needs to do when she needs to do it, and she gets her stuff done. And the whole thing is this family is very laid back compared to the rest of the Millmans. They don't really have a lot of drama going on. Dre and Nolan get along awesomely. They love each other wholeheartedly, and they love their little girl, and they all get to spend time together all the time. And so they just love it. And they don't really need a big house, so they don't spend a lot on bills. So they get to save money and they get to spend it in other places. Like they get to go out and eat and all that other stuff. Like the other families don't really have that lap of luxury. So this family is definitely more wealthy than the rest of the Millmans. And that's great. And Nolan and Dre are just happy to be able to provide for their daughter. And they want to set her up for the future. Like if something were to happen and, she needed something happened and they were leaving her with the money or whatever, the house, they know that she'll be set up. And that's what they're really hoping for, is to make sure that everything goes smoothly and she doesn't have to worry later in life about money or anything else for that matter, because it's just not something that they feel that their daughter should have to worry about. And they don't know what she wants to become in life, so obviously they just are letting her choose. Whatever she wants to be is what she'll be. And they're proud of her. No matter what, they are proud of her. And they let her know that every day. That she can be whatever she wants to be when she grows up, and she can do whatever she wants to do, and they're okay with that. And I think that makes them awesome parents. It really does. Dre kind of reminds me of Derek as a young Derek, like before he had so many kids. The manuscript for the next volume in Dre's series is due soon, and it's not exactly his best work. In fact, it's awful. Another author has offered to help rewrite it as long as Dre shares authoring credit. He can either accept the help or refuse it and publish the book with just his own name. Accept the help. Alright, the other writer had some great ideas and did an excellent job rewriting. Dre never could have done it alone. Performance gain is small. Awesome. So they've just really spent some time getting to know Star and letting her getting to know them and becoming more comfortable all together. And now that they're all really comfortable with one another, they spend like pretty much every waking moment together, and it's just the cutest little thing. What the heck? Star's obviously making some friends at school. She's got Terry McDonald that's just come over. And so she gets to, spend time with the kids, and she's fitting in, and it just makes them so happy to see her fitting in. And she fits in with the family as well. That was a big thing. Like, they were scared the family wouldn't accept her like they accept their other children, and Cheryl and Derek love her. They love her. Like, they come over and they will spend so much time with her and just love on her forever because they love her like their own. To them, she is their grandchild. She is a biological grandchild, and they don't care whether she was born into the family or not. They don't care. And that's awesome. That's awesome. That makes them the most awesome people in the entire world. It really does. And so it just kind of makes me so happy to see them be as awesome as they really are. It really does. And it makes me so proud of this family. They had a really rough time getting to where they are. And now that they're here, the family couldn't be any more awesome with the whole adoption and, you know, Nolan and Dre being together. You know, this family just is so accepting of everyone and even knowing everyone's different, they love them all the same, and that's just the best. So really, that's all that's been happening with them. Nolan is still working in the painter career, and Dre is in the writer career, and he's almost leveled out his career. He's almost at the top of his business. He'll be the boss one day, and he's happy to be okay with that. He did go to the author side of it. He didn't go the journalist side. He went to the author side. So he does write his own books and stuff and gets his royalties and stuff from that. So that's really awesome. But that's pretty much that, and you know, they seriously just love their daughter. That's pretty much all they do. They spend time with their daughter, and that's pretty much their world. All right, so moving on. I'm not trying to drag this out too long because, I mean, it is really late and it's probably getting pretty long because I've been rambling on for like ever. Let's go to... I have two more. Two more houses. We'll go here. We're gonna go to this house. This is Dawson's house. Now, as you know, it was with a girl. It ended up being he really, really liked the girl. But she ended up pregnant, not wanting to be in a relationship anymore, and not wanting a child. And Dawson could not allow her to have an abortion. So they talked it out that if she had the baby, he would raise it, and he agreed. And then as he was at a bar one night, he met a long-lost friend. And they got together, and she also got pregnant, and they had a baby together. And now they have bought their first house together. They moved out of his mom and dad's house, and they moved into this house. They ran low on the funds after running into quite a lot of problems with the builds. A lot of new expenses came up, and so they ran out of money, and they're just working to buy all the furniture that they've been really needing. They've got their needed furniture, and then they've got their furniture that they can definitely do without for right now. So they have bought their new house. They are in love with the house. They just wish it was furnished, which it will be. So he is pretty happy with Marin. He does feel bad that Dallas, unfortunately, doesn't get to ever really see his mom. But his mom recently came back around to Dawson and said, "Look, Dawson, I'm homeless. I need a place to stay. I'm trying to get clean because she's been doing some pretty hefty drugs recently, and he knew about it and confronted her and told her that she needed to either stop or she would never ever see Dallas again." And so Dawson is thinking that maybe her moving in wouldn't be such a bad idea. Now, Marin doesn't think that's a good idea. She thinks that this girl is just trying to weasel her way back into Dawson's life. And she feels that Arya is trying to use him for his money. And she's telling him, like, listen, I don't think it's a good idea, not only for the fact that we're together and we're living together, but I don't think it's a good idea for the fact that I think she's trying to use you for your money. And he thinks that Marin is being unreasonable. He thinks that, she would never do such a thing. He's got to help her. It's his son's mother, and he can't leave her living out there on the streets. What is wrong with Marin to believe that this is what's going on? And so they are kind of at odds with one another. Marin's like, if you move her in, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around with my son and my daughter if you're going to act like that. Like, my daughter does not deserve to have to live in a house where it's confusing for her. We are together and you guys are not. If she needs help, then she can go to a homeless shelter. She can get help through the state. Like, she can do any of that stuff, and she doesn't need to be living in our house. And so Dawson hasn't offered for her to move in yet, but he still thinks that it's the best idea for his son. And so he's torn between the woman that he loves and his son's mother. He feels he needs to help her, and so I don't know how he's going to help her or what's going to happen there, but it's putting some tension, a little bit of tension on the family for the fact that, some of them believe that they should be helping and some of them believe that they shouldn't be. They're helping too much and they're just being used. So, Dawson's gonna go to mom soon and see what she kind of wants to do and where she wants to go. And as this whole thing was going down, it ended up being that Marin got pregnant again. And so she got pregnant and she had a baby. Now, I wasn't here when the baby was born, so the baby does not have the right name, but we'll just call her M for right now, because her name is obviously going to start with an M, because it's my thing. So, they got pregnant again, and it put more pressure on the whole fact of they were trying to save money to furnish their house, and now they have a newborn. Like, what? Dawson's like, what were you thinking? Why weren't you using contraceptives? We can't afford this right now. We can't afford this extra like bill almost. And Marin's like, it takes two. It's not just me. You know better as well. You can't blame this all on me. Like, yes, it maybe wasn't planned, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Our baby is ours for life, and you have to realize that, she's ours, and we have got to love her unconditionally, whether it puts strain on us or not. And yes. Dawson agrees that, it is both their problems or their faults. And, he's going to work his hardest to save the money that they need to give the kids the best that they can. But he might be kind of going behind Marin's back and looking into getting a loan from someone. And it might not be somebody that she appreciates it. So, obviously, that Marin is a Lothario, and so Don Lothario is her father. Now, Don Lothario definitely has money. He's always been a very wealthy man, and he feels that maybe it's time that he asks for a little bit of help. They're definitely struggling. And he's having a hard time keeping the lights on. And now with the new baby, he feels that it's time that they go to someone and get some help. So he's going to look into possibly asking Don for a loan behind Marin's back and just be like, listen, we're really needing the help here with the new house and everything. Could you loan us a couple $1,000 just to get us through, and I will pay you back, but please don't tell Marin. And he's hoping that Don is going to be a receptive listener and is going to help him out in his time of need. But right now he is just trying to figure out the struggle. And I think kind of with Dawson, not only is it that, he wants to help Arya because it's his son's mother, but I think he wants to help Arya because he kind of still likes her. They didn't have a real good closure when it came to the relationship. She was like, I don't want a baby right now, so I'm gonna go. And I think that kind of, he never really got over her when he got with Marin. And I don't know if Marin is more like a rebound, and I hate to say it, but it might be what she was, and maybe he doesn't have the feelings for Marin that he has for Arya. And so, maybe he's still in love with her. I don't know. And I don't know if Dawson knows, honestly. I don't know if he knows if he's in love with Marin or if he's in love with Arya, or if honestly he's in love with both of them, because that is a possibility. And so I just don't know where he stands with them, but I know that something is going to happen. Either he's going to figure it out or somebody's going to get angry in the whole process of him trying to figure it out. So that's pretty much where they're at, and you can just kind of see that they have a really nice house. I'll go ahead and put the walls up for you, and I'll put the walls or the ceiling on. And this is what it looks like. I mean, it is a really nice house. And yes, I built it myself. But it is just so nice. And it definitely has the space that they need for the big family that they already have. And I think it'll be good for them to live here. I don't know why their mailbox is at the back, but it is. Um, I think it'll be good that they're living here now and not in a tiny little house that was in the family for a while before he moved into it. And hopefully the kids are happy here. Hopefully everything works out. And if the whole thing too is if Arya moves in, where's she gonna sleep? You know what I mean? Like, there isn't another bedroom. There is only 3 bedrooms. So where is she gonna sleep? And that's like the whole thing too. Like, Mare's like, where is she gonna sleep? Like, she's definitely not sleeping in my bed. Like, where is she gonna sleep? We don't have a guest bedroom or anything. And so that's something that they'll have to contemplate as well. But hopefully they'll figure it out. They'll figure out what's gonna happen there. I don't know if she's gonna move in or what's gonna happen, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna listen to Marin or if he's gonna go his own way and try and help Arya out for the fact that it is her son, his son's mother, and he doesn't want anything bad to happen to her. He wants his son to have a mom. He wants him to know his mother, even knowing it's been very difficult with the whole drugs and everything. But he definitely wants it, and he knows that Marin loves Dallas as her own, and he knows that Marin treats Dallas as her own, but that's not the same as, he knows that it's not his mom, and he knows that, you know, his mom is out there, you know what I mean? And he knows that Dallas really wants to see his mom sometimes. So he's trying to give his son what his son wants, and it's just putting like a little bit of tension on the relationship. But hopefully the new baby won't put a kink in the relationship because of that, and hopefully they'll figure out the whole thing. You guys will have to let me know if you think that Don is a nice enough guy to lend his daughter and grandchildren and kind of son-in-law money for them because they're struggling. I kind of just want to see what you guys would think. And then on to the last household, because this has been a very long long spiel of me talking about this crazy family. So the last household I've left for last is Hannah. And Hannah has got a lot going. So Hannah has been struggling with Daniel being gone. He went missing, and now she doesn't know where he is, if he's even coming home. And before everything went down, there was a bit of a discussion about their marriage. Their marriage was taking a hit from all having the kids, and the kids being the number one. And so Hannah was feeling very forgotten, per se. And so she had brought it up to Daniel, and then he went missing. And she doesn't know if that's the reason why Daniel is missing, if he just ran away because the tension got to be too much. But Hannah knows that it's been a year, and she can't live her life hoping and dreaming that he's gonna come home. She's waited a year for him and has heard no word. And so and needed a place to stay. And it's not like he showed up at her house. They met out in town at the park. They seen each other, and he was like, "Oh, yo, where you living now?" And she kind of felt bad for him because he was wearing ratty old clothes, and he didn't have any food or money for food, and so she brought him home. She gave him some of Daniel's old clothes that were hanging in the closet for a while, and, just started to catch up with him. And those old emotions of feeling like a child again, like crushing on someone, came back. And so she was like, these feelings, I haven't felt them in so long. She hasn't felt them since her and Daniel, before they had kids. And so she was like, I'm struggling for money. He needs help. Maybe we can help each other out. And so he moved in. But things kind of heated up quickly when Frank told her that he still had feelings for her, and he was still hoping that maybe someday they could have the life that they always dreamt about. Seeing her that day brought back all those emotions that he had from way younger. And so she was like, she didn't want to listen to him at first because she was still so caught up in trying to find Daniel. But in the long run, Frank has been here for Hannah through the whole losing her husband pretty much and raising 3 children on her own, And so she and Frank have kind of become a little bit more than friends. They haven't taken it too far because obviously Hannah's still married, but she has kissed Frank. And, things have heated up between them. And, she just likes the feeling of having someone there for her. And she doesn't know if they'll ever find Daniel or if Daniel is just lost forever because she has no idea. But she does know that her and Frank, well, she's got feelings for Frank. And she feels like she could probably spend the rest of her life with him happily. And if that was something that happened, she would be okay with it. And unfortunately, those feelings of being really upset about the loss of not being able to talk to Daniel have subsided, and she doesn't really feel that loss anymore. He's kind of filled the void of losing Daniel. And so she has been okay with it. And she feels like that maybe it's time for her to move on. Maybe it's time to get a divorce. And it's time for her to just be happy with Frank. He makes her so happy, and she couldn't ask for anything more. And so she definitely feels like, it wouldn't be the worst thing. He's not a horrible guy. He is so into Hannah, and he makes her happy. And so that's what she's going with. She's letting him be happy. She is letting him kind of run the game. Like, just letting him do what he needs to do to make her happy, pretty much. And she's okay with it. And they've saved money. He's helped her finance the books. And, she's able to save money. She's been selling her paintings and making money off of those. And things are going well. Now, she does know that when Daniel is found, whether alive or dead, she knows that if he's alive, there's going to be a problem. Because he's going to still feel the same he probably did for her when he left, but he can't she feels that he can't expect her to wait forever. And if he is just out there with someone else, then she feels like, he should have had enough decency to tell her. And so she is just being happy with him. That's how she is. She's just happy to be with somebody. And so she's just letting Frank be happy with her. And Frank is a genuinely nice guy. Like, he is genuinely really nice to her. He treats her really nicely. He treats the kids awesomely. And that's like the big thing with her, is if the kids are happy, she's happy. If the kids didn't like him, she probably would be like, oh, well, they're not getting along. You know what I mean? But they all seem to love him. And it's just making it so easy for her to be happy. Even knowing she hasn't been happy in so long, like, she finally feels like she can be happy again. And it's all thanks to Frank. And so she knows that, it's time that she kind of moves on. She doesn't ever know if Daniel's ever going to be back. And she's got to show her kids that, life goes on, kind of. Unfortunately for Daniel and Hannah, I think that their time is over. And hopefully, if it's not, hopefully when she sees Daniel, all those feelings will come back, and she will feel for him what she felt for him the last time they talked. But at this time, she is almost 100% over him. And I'm sad to say it, because they were such a cute couple and they were so good together. But I think that the distance and not being able to talk anymore has just kind of killed their marriage. And hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully, if everything works out and he comes home, hopefully he's understanding of it all. But I can't promise that he'll be understanding of that. And I don't know how he'll react when he finds out that someone has moved in. Especially with his kids living here, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be something. And so Cheryl knows that Hannah's kind of moved on, and she's got a new boyfriend. And Cheryl told her that, since he's been gone for so long, that she can understand, and she does not blame her for moving on. She knows that she can't ask Hannah to put her life on hold for her son. And Cheryl told her that if Frank makes her happy, then that's what she should do. And that Daniel will understand if and when he comes home. So Hannah is just letting herself be happy. And I'm honestly really sad that their marriage is, like, over. But I'm happy that Hannah knows that, like, I'm happy that she hasn't turned her back on Daniel. She still looks for him. You know what I mean? And if she found him, she would be so happy. But I don't know if she would be happy for the fact of getting back with him and being with him, or if it's more the fact of just knowing he's safe for her children and for her sake. But anyways, guys, that's been happening with the Millmans. There's a lot going on. A lot of sadness, a lot of happy times, new things coming, new things going, new things starting. And I don't know where it's going to go from here. I don't know how the family is going to stick together. I don't know if, the things that are happening are going to make the Millmans fall apart, or if they're going to all pull together and succeed. Hopefully we'll be able to find Daniel soon and be able to see that he's okay, but I can't promise anything, and I don't even know if he came home to this, he would want to be here. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I explained everything and you understand anything. If you guys have any comments, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about what you think is going to happen in the next
Slow.
episode, or what's going to happen before then. But anyways, guys, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. It would mean the world to me to hear it, and just to hear, what you guys think of what's
Dance
going
the
on.
Buna. Arbs.
Also,
Aga
please don't forget to give it
aga.
a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because that tells me that you are enjoying it and shows me that you want more of this kind of videos. And as always, guys, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. In the description below there is a donation link if you'd like to donate to the channel, along with things like my social media links and all of that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys in my very next one. Thanks very much for watching.